If I were to ask you what you think is the most expensive match in football, what would your answer be? Perhaps the Champions League final, or maybe the World Cup 2022 final? Well, whatever your answer is, I can bet with you that you are probably wrong. This is Money Talks brought to you by Last Covet. I am Anishilowo, Jimmy Anishilowo. And as usual, I am here with our analyst numero uno. I stop blushing. I
What can I do? Carry on,
will
please.
give you your
Sing my
accolades
praises.
now.
No.
I should sing your praises. No, you did not bring something for me, so that's what I'm just going to say. Yeah, so Ayola,
Hi, Jimmy.
enlighten us about the most expensive match in football.
Well, like you said, a lot of people will probably have guessed the Champions League final or maybe the Europa League final since it qualifies for the Champions League, or even the World Cup,
Or the World Cup,
like
yeah.
you mentioned. But it's actually the Championship playoff, the
Wow.
promotion playoffs for who gets to play in the Premier League. Because, as you know, the Premier League is probably the most lucrative league in the world, and that single match.
I'm glad you used the word lucrative and not
Yes.
that competitive that they used to say.
Well, I don't know.
because it's debatable. But
I don't know about that, but definitely the Premier League is the most lucrative league, I think, in the whole world. So the Championship playoff final is one match that gets to decide in one fell swoop, 90 minutes or 120 minutes as it could be, who gets to play the next season in the Premier League. And according to reports, the 2025 playoffs were worth upwards of 200 million pounds just for the ticket to play in the Premier League. It's been a bit lower in other years. We've seen last year was 140 million, which is also incredibly huge. We've also seen the prize money get as high as 171 million pounds for the playoff winners. Not just the prize money, I mean the potential earnings from winning the final and playing in the Premier League. But this season, thanks to a new deal that the Premier League just signed for the next 10 years in terms of a broadcast deal worth 6.7 billion pounds.
Billion?
Yes.
Wow.
For 10 years. I mean, when you consider that it's Premier League, it's definitely more than worth it. So teams now have access to a larger pool of money to share. And that's why this season, or the 2025 Championship playoff, was worth as much as 200 million pounds.
How does this compare to like how much the winner of the Premier League takes home? I mean,
Well, the winner of the Premier League takes home close to the same amount of money.
close to, but not up to.
Close to, but not up to. Yes, not up to.
Why
Liverpool-
is why? Normally, you should think that the person that wins the Premier League should get more than whoever it is that is coming from tier 2.
Yes, but when you consider that it's the difference in what their estimated earnings are supposed to be, playing in the Championship compared to playing in the Premier League is a much bigger jump. And teams that go up to the Premier League also have the chance to earn even if they get relegated, which is something that the champions obviously would not have. So if you get relegated in the Premier League, you still get a percentage of the broadcasting revenue, even though you're not in the league. You still get 55% of what you would have earned in your first year of relegation, and then 45% the next year, and then 20% the next year. So even though you are not one of the bigger teams, you still have the potential to earn quite a lot of money.
All right. So how does this compare to the other leagues?
The Premier League is such a rich league that it dwarfs almost every other league in the world. Because when you consider that even a team like Southampton, who finished last in the Premier League, they still earned around 110 million pounds in revenue in terms of TV rights and other matchday revenue. And then you compare that to Barcelona, who won the La Liga title recently, and they were only able to earn around 58 million euros for the whole season. When you compare that to a team like Leicester, who, even though they were 18th in the Premier League, they still got 190 million pounds. That's more than double what Barcelona, who won the La Liga, got. So the financial disparity is huge in the Premier League. So even just participating is worth more than in some leagues winning the title.
Oh, wait. Something just even occurred to me. Because you said now that the most lucrative, like it's only the person that wins the playoff that gets, and we know that, coming from the championship, playoff is only for. So what about the team that finishes number one from the championship and gets promoted?
For the champions, when you really think about it, they got there thanks to all 42 matches. So it's not just the final that you would say gets them to the Premier League, even though they will be entitled to around the same sum of money. But at the end of the day, you look at it as their entire season, while the playoff is one match that literally decides the fate of. I mean, you can come sixth and still make the playoff final, and it's just that one match that determines whether you would move to the Premier League and earn the big bucks or remain in the championship and earn the small bucks.
Well, like I said, you wouldn't have guessed the playoffs, so you probably owe me money for not believing in me. And now also, you can probably tell maybe one of your clubs, like, I don't want to name a certain 15th place club, to maybe try and get relegated next season, and then they can use the playoffs to come back, and all is well that ends well. But what about you guys? What do you think? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. I am Anishilo, Jimmy Anishilo, and this is Money Talks, brought to you by Life's Comments.